yes. I was going to, but I'm not safe for flight because this Moderna vaccine I got.
I was gonna say I got COVID.
9 days. Like we got a test yesterday because I immediate test. I was concerned about that, but this vaccine has kicked my 9 days.
Some have.
I've been at bed.
Yep.
It can. So I went and got tested. I'm like, look, sore throat, chills, fever, nausea. Everything. First one.
You have time.
Okay.
And the other one was, we have budgeted $1,500 for Christmas lights for next winter.
Yeah.
That's a Laura Hensley project. She
All right.
said They have to now coming for Christmas.
Okay.
A light
We knew this
display,
was coming.
Yeah.
a light display.
Yeah.
So Dave is here.
I am here.
Good, he can run it.
We're good.
Okay, well, let me go grab.
Thank you, Todd.
You're saved.
Good, I'm saved.
Because usually I just take and go down and
Major COVID brain going on.
Yeah, oh, I was
Holy
a mess
cow.
last week.
you just read the public comment and then you go any other stuff you have, Mr. Womack.
Yeah,
That's all.
So we're good to go now. Do we have a quorum? Are we missing anybody? I can't see who all's in the main video.
Laura just showed up in the video.
Laura and Tom Tom's here.
Yep, you got a full
Yep.
board. Great.
Bernie's sitting here gonna run it.
I
I'm
see
taking over for the
Bernie's-
city.
Here, you want the gavel?
The manager
Bernie's
in
front
here,
and center.
I'm taking over for the manager. This is his. turn.
Here's the gavel, Bernie.
Tom, what was that picture I saw of you all clean shaven online?
Oh, it was from 10 years ago when my oldest daughter had her baptism. So I decided that I'd let the whole world see what I looked like when I was.
Yeah, you look faster. There was less wind resistance.
Dignified,
I was 100 pounds lighter too.
Yeah, well,
dignified.
we're all heading the wrong direction in that, I think.
Ah, there's Mike. Mr.
All
Womack.
right, if we got a group here, it is 12:01. We're good to go. We'll start out with the informational meeting. That'll be brief, and then we'll move into the regular meeting. So I'm going to call the informational meeting to order. If everyone can find a flag, we'll recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And I will take a roll call for attendance. Ms. Arp,
Here.
Mr. Byer,
Here,
Ms. Ensley,
He's there.
I'm here, sorry, had to unmute myself.
Mayor Hall,
Here.
Ms. Howland,
Here.
Ms. Powell,
Here.
Mr. Vriesinga,
Here.
Mr. Wilks,
Here.
and Mr. Ringler is present. My goodness, we've got a full house here today. Public comments, those citizens wishing to speak on the agenda or non-agenda items will be allowed a maximum of 4 minutes each to address their concerns. This is the only time citizens are allowed to address the DDA during the meeting. Please state your name and address for the record. Is there anyone who wishes to speak? Hearing none and seeing none, we will move on to our informational presentation. Mr. Womack.
Thank you. So as you guys may be aware, the state of Michigan changed the law last year regarding TIFA districts, which the DDA is one. We're obligated by law to twice a year hold informational hearings. The last one you guys had for me, I was down at Disney World. Today I'm in my office, unfortunately. So there is no specific indication in the law what has to be done or talked about. So I'm just choosing kind of random things about how DDAs and TIFA districts operate and kind of giving a quick tutorial, I guess a DDA 101 on each one of those. And hopefully, unless Ms. Johnson forces me to, we won't have to do another one of these until next year. So that being said, you guys, the DDA board, are obligated to follow the 2017 DDA and TIFA plan, which has been hosted on our website. It was approved by the board and by the city council back in 2017. And so it lists, I believe, 13 different things that the DDA board is tasked with completing. And so the first one, which I'll talk about today very briefly, is the creation of new off-street parking lots. So the DDA actually already owns a couple of parking lots in the city. One in particular is the parking lot with the community garden in it. So as you guys will recall, the board had to approve of the easement that recently ran through there for the Loom business. I believe the DDA also is partial owner of the alleyway that is between, that runs north from Ash Street, kind of across the street from City Hall. So in reading, this is now on page 9 of your packet. In reading the things listed there, I think maybe the name should have been creation of new off-street parking lots and maintenance of existing parking lots. Because some of the things such as striping lots is something that can be accomplished in old parking lots. And also, as you guys know, in your budget, we do put about $5,000 aside each year for the creation of, or I guess the redevelopment of parking areas. So the city plans on milling and filling the parking lot across the street. We refer to it as the B&B parking lot kind of on the northwest corner of Ash and Main Street. And hopefully that'll look nice and new next year. So it's an ongoing thing, but it's nice to be able to have money to spend on it. So yes, new and redeveloping parking lots in the city of Cedar Springs. Any questions, thoughts, or concerns anybody might have about that goal of the DDA?
I think my,
I'd like to-
my only concern was, I know that they're working on that storm drain, so once that's completed, then, you know, as far as how long that's gonna take before we can work on some of the parking lots that affects.
Yep, so thankfully, it should not affect any of the existing parking lots. So the drain, as I understand it, will go through the alleyway that exists between the Vitale's, former Vitale's Pizza and the Kent Theater. It'll go underneath Main Street. It'll go through that, now it's now an empty lot where the old white building was before it was knocked over. The storm drain's already underneath the fire station lot.
Okay.
And then it will eventually dip down into Cherry Street over to Fifth Street. And then it will empty into the creek at that point. So I don't believe there are any parking lots that are in that way. And the end result will be that Cherry Street will get a nice new road surface on it, unfortunately. And then on page 10, I put together, or the code enforcement officer put this together last year, just showing where a number of our parking spots are located in the city. I think there is a belief that there's not enough parking in the community. And you'll see here that there's about 350 regular parking spots, another 20 plus handicap parking spots, and a couple of bus lanes. So that's all I got for you. I'm happy to address any other questions you guys might have.
Thank you, Mr. Womack, for that scintillating presentation.
You're welcome.
Are there any other questions? Otherwise, I would entertain a motion to adjourn the informational meeting.
Move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor of adjourning the informational meeting?
I,
Aye.
Any opposed? We're out of here. Let's move on to the regular meeting. And I would like to call the regular DDA meeting to order. If we could find a flag and recite, please, the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so much. And as we enter into our regular meeting, I will once again go through a roll call for attendance. Ms. Arp,
Here.
Mr. Byer,
Here.
Ms. Ensley,
Here.
Mayor Hall,
Here.
Ms. Howland,
Here.
Ms. Powell,
Here.
Mr. Vriesiga,
Here.
Mr. Wilks,
Here.
and Mr. Ringler is also present. Thank you so much. And at this time, I would open the floor to public comments. Any citizens wishing to speak on agenda or non-agenda items will be allowed a maximum of 4 minutes. This is the only time during the meeting to address the DDA. Please state your name and address. Is there anyone who wishes to speak?
I'd like to speak on behalf of the Cedar Springs Garden Club.
Rose Powell. I'm a member of the Cedar Springs Garden Club. We're about to start gardening pretty soon. And we're all excited about building again our beautiful garden. And since we, like every other nonprofit, kind of had a bite out of our budget, maybe DDA possibly I know the city pays us a little bit, but maybe we might need a little extra money from DDA. And after our first meeting in April, I intend to see if maybe we could get a little help. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Powell. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak?
Just to the clerk, the date we have on this agenda is the 39th.
A little off. You're in a hurry.
And here I thought it was January 58th still.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
for the record.
All right, we'll have to edit that, of course. All right, if there are no other public comments, I will close that portion. We'll move on to any disclosure of conflicts of interest or ex parte communication. Then we will move on to the approval of the agenda with the note of the date on our agenda packet.
Motion.
Regular, I'd like to add a couple items if I could, please. So you did send me a second quote for snow removal on the sidewalks. Let's see here. So this would be 8A, subpart B. There's a second quote. Now, I don't think we're going to be approving of that today, but I did want to make sure it was part of the agenda. I don't have it in front of me, but I think the quote was from what, O'Dowd Landscaping. I believe it's
Yeah.
$200 per bush.
250, 230, something like that.
Okay.
50
So-
per brush.
Yeah.
I'd
I
like
do
that.
have that email, which I can forward, so.
Okay, so I'd like that at least to be part of the agenda, and then I would also like to add a 6C. That would be a motion to approve of spending up to $1,500 towards, Ms. Ensley, what is it? A Christmas light display in the heart of Cedar Springs? Okay, so that's something that I believe the chamber is also putting $1,500 towards.
Would that be on unfinished business under 7AR rather than the consent agenda?
So this is a item that is budgeted for under A subpart I, $1,500 for winter holiday lights display. What I'm asking for under 6C would be consent to allow Ms. Ensley to actually purchase the lights. My understanding is that these lights take several months to actually arrive. So I don't want to delay it any longer because she has to order them now to be here for winter.
Which is fine, but I think you're asking that under 6C would be consent agenda, which is no discussion.
Yeah, okay. So
Would be under unfinished business, I believe, which would be 7AR. So it'd be under the budget, yes, or we could add it as 7D.
70 if you guys want to discuss it.
I think so.
Okay, any other changes to the agenda? With that, then I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda with the 2 additions.
I motion.
Thank you, Ms. Ensley. Do I have a second?
I second.
Wonderful. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And any opposed, same sign. Then we move on to the consent agenda, which is the minutes of the previous meeting and the financial report, which should be contained in your packet. Hopefully you've had a chance to remove that or to review that, excuse me. And could I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Friesiga. And Ms. Ensley, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Moving on to unfinished business. Then we have a motion, we'll be seeking a motion to approve and recommend the 21-22 DDA budget to the city council as presented, which is hopefully visible to everyone there. Any do I have a second?
Second.
And is there any discussion of the items within the budget?
Yes, on item Q, it's highlighted in red. Is that included or is that just error?
That was added in red because at the last meeting, I believe it was 930 to the fund balance. And then Mr. Hall, I believe you asked that we have a training budget. So
Correct.
we changed the fund balance to training. So
Thank
that is as presented.
I have a question. I just want to clarify again. Item P is snow removal, or make sure we're talking about sidewalks, we're talking about curbside. What are we talking about for $7,000?
So as I was indicating before, Mr. Ringler did seek out a couple of quotes for snow removal on the sidewalks from, I believe, 17 Mile up to 18 Mile Road. So, you know, and this is a discussion I've had with the DPW department a number of times. You know, if you guys spend all of your $7,000, then you're kind of SOL at that point about snow removal. But at $250 a pop, we've had a number of mild winters. It would take quite a lot of snowfall to use up that full $7,000. And the DDA does now have a healthy fund balance. So Mr. Ringler, maybe you could enlighten us a little bit more, but my understanding from reading the quotes was that it would simply remove the snow from the sidewalks from 17 to 18 Mile Road.
Well, I think what we're doing here is establishing a budget, and previously we have only done the downtown area. On that particular topic, which we have coming up on the agenda, we can discuss whether the board wishes to extend that, and we have some quotes to actually do that, which appear to fall within that budget. If either way, it would be for removing the sidewalks, and if we had money left over and or needed to, we could also have the snow removed completely, as we discussed the last meeting, although ironically it was pretty much melted away by the week after our last discussion. But this would be approving the budget and not necessarily what we're doing with those funds.
Fine, I'm happy.
We want to make you happy.
Thank you. I just want the snow off the curbs. That's all I want.
Just
I mean,
for
at
clarity,
$250 per removal, that's 28 removals. And I mean, I haven't been here very long, but that sounds like a really awful winter if we need them to come out 30 times in a year.
Yeah. Well, and again, I'll get to this as we move on to those quotes, but according to the vendors that I quoted, that they plan an average of 20 to 22 per year. I mean, obviously it can be a little bit more, it could be a little bit less, but over a 10-year cycle, that's what they average.
then the balance would be used for removal of the downtown if needed.
Well, we would have a budget, and if we needed to, we could have, the trucks come in and remove snow if needed, or it would roll over.
Just for clarification.
Yep. This would, as I said, would be approving the budget, so. Any other?
I think they do a fabulous job. They do our parking lot out back. And they do a great job. I know they do yours too, don't they, Dave?
Who's that?
O'Dowd.
Yeah.
We have preferred doing ours, but I use O'Dowd and my residence, so I use them both.
Yeah.
But again, that would be on the next area. We're talking about the budget right now, so.
Approve the
Any other
budget.
discussion on the budget? So I believe we have a motion that's been seconded on the floor.
Second.
Yeah, it's been ready to go.
Okay, so as this is financial, I would do a roll call vote. Ms. Arp,
Yes.
Mr. Byer,
Yes.
Ms. Ensley,
Yes.
Mayor Hall,
Yes.
Ms. Howland,
Yes.
Ms. Powell,
Yes.
Mr. Vriesiga,
Yes.
Mr. Wilks,
Yes.
and Mr. Ringler also votes yes. Thank you so much. Moving on to B, a motion to recommend to the city council that they approve the social district plan, which I believe you will see contained in your packet.
I would make that motion.
Second.
Do we have any discussion? There it is in your packet on page 17. Alrighty then, hearing none, all in favor of approving the motion to city council that they approve the social district plan, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. Ringler, if I could jump in for 1 second.
Yes.
So because I've got a couple of businesses here today, I would point out that the city council is asking that any business that would like to participate in the social district to fill out, I believe it's page 2 of the LCC 208 form. There's a link to it on page 18. Submit that to City Hall. Yes, thank you. We'll
I just
add
haven't
that.
gotten down there yet.
We'll add that to the agenda. Council will approve of it at their next meeting, fingers crossed. And then we'll forward all that to the Liquor Control Commission.
Thank you. We would then be moving on to item C, and I would ask that you take a moment to review your packet. Let me find the correct page here. Page 29 and 30. I had gone out, we had several quotes to have this mural, and you see some renderings in that packet. The large rendering which we had asked for is actually item B, which would be page 30 of your packet. And the artist suggested a larger version, which would be on page 29. So we have 6,000 in our budget for a welcome sign mural. So either of these would fit within that. So the question would be how large we would like to go.
Coming from the one-eyed man in the room, the bigger one's gonna be a heck of a lot better, especially if it's within our budget. Because I can't see the other one, and that's on my computer screen.
Well, there was the small version we had quoted originally, and that was even smaller, but
I like the big one.
any other views?
I like the big one too. I think it looks better, stands out, pops. It's more noticeable.
I like the big one too, but is there any way we can get either a symbol of Michigan like we do for our city, that golden Michigan, somewhere on there? I looked through, there's at least 9 cities in the United States, Cedar Springs. And in every state, there's a suburb or something called Cedar Springs. I would like for us to represent Cedar Springs, Michigan, in some way or form. And that golden Michigan symbol that we have on our city symbol would be beautiful someplace on that sign. Please.
Well, I mean, we have an approved design that was already done. I mean, unless we want to reopen that discussion, but we do have a design. The question here now is on budget, if we want to go with the larger or the smaller version of it.
I like the larger, it's wonderful. But I can't support a welcome to Cedar Springs sign without Michigan on it, and that's where I stand.
Any other thoughts? Okay, then as a quick straw poll, then I think we're going to, it sounds like everybody is in favor of option A, which would be a 9.5 feet by 46.5 feet for $57.50. So I would entertain a motion to approve the Elm Street Garage mural of size A for a price not to exceed $57.50.
Our motion.
Second.
As this is financial in nature, I would do a roll call vote. Ms. Arp,
Yes.
Mr. Byer,
Yes.
Ms. Ensley,
Yes.
Mayor Hall,
Yes.
Ms. Howland,
Yes.
Ms. Powell,
No,
Mr. Friesinger,
Yes.
Mr. Wilks,
Yes.
And Mr. Ringler votes yes as well. Motion carries. Thank you so much. We'll move on to new business, a discussion of the actual sidewalk. And I believe there is a quote from Preferred, which is included in your packet, and that would be page 31. And then everyone separately was sent a second email.
O'Dowd.
And that would have come through, excuse me. Quickly, that came through on February 28th, I believe. So the question here then would be, we've had the downtown district covered previously, and whether we would entertain the idea of extending our snow removal on the sidewalks from 17 all the way up to 18 mile, and there would be 2 private bids to do so, as my understanding is the DPW does not feel they would have the resources to go that far. Or we can just maintain the the downtown under the DPW.
We discussed the curb snow in the past. Are we going to include the curbside snow in this? Or are we just doing sidewalks, which are already done by DPW?
Well, we're, sorry.
Sorry, I think you're wrong, Ro. I think he's saying the DPW does the downtown.
Yes.
North to 18 mile, there is none. In fact, we're doing it ourselves, and we get in trouble if we don't. So
Right.
We've already hired somebody to do it. So we're talking just about snow removal on the sidewalks.
So what, do we have any plans for the curb snow or to,
Unless we got extra money, right?
Again, we have $7,000 budgeted. Currently, we're just paying DPW to remove the sidewalks downtown. We could privately extend that from 17 to 18 mile. And we have a budget there for snow removal. It does not specifically say it's sidewalks. That's what we've currently done. We could use that budget as well to remove the mounds if necessary. We have $7,000 in the budget.
okay, as long as we don't forget about those giant snow mounds that appear occasionally during the winter.
So
No.
Ms. Powell, if I could just for a second. So, we're aware of the snow piling up on the sidewalks, but there's a difference about whether you get a 14-inch snowfall, December 5th versus if that happens in March. As Mr. Ringler indicated, just a week or two after the previous meeting, all that melted. We don't want to have huge piles from December through March. But if it's only going to be a couple of weeks until it melts, then you might want to just save the $5,000 and leave it be. So that's what the city has previously estimated that snow removal would cost, is up to $5,000, which is one of the reasons it's not done on a consistent basis. But we could have the DDA board decide to spend that anytime. Either it'd be out of the 7,000 that's budgeted or out of a fund balance amount.
So for perspective, again, we have basically 3 options here. We can just continue to do what we've done, which is the downtown. If we extend, there are 2 bids. One is for $800 per push and the other is for $250 per push, which would be at the 250, it'd be 5,500 at an average of 22 pushes per year. And if we did the $800 bid at an average of 22 per year, it would be 17,600 per year on average, which would obviously exceed our budget.
Are we allowed to go beyond the DDA district with our expenses?
The entire Main Street corridor from 18 to 17 is within the DDA.
Thank you.
I have a question. Now, if we go with this, will the O'Dowd plow the downtown also, or will we be required to pay the DPW to do the downtown and O'Dowd to do both north and south of Main. And is it on both sides of Main Street, at the north and south end?
And asking for the quote and looking at it, this is pertains to the sidewalk from 17 Mile Road to 18 Mile Road. Would consist of one 54-inch pass on the east and the west sides of Main Street, using a blade snow blower or a sweeper broom, depending on the type of snow being plowed.
Good, just for clarification, we will no longer have to pay the DPW to do the
Correct.
main. Good,
Correct.
that's what I wanted to clarify.
Yep, thank you.
On the same line for roads, we don't need, I don't think we need to spend the money to do the mounds on the curbs north, like by Vanderhyde or north. We don't need it. It's where the parking is downtown where that, to me, that becomes an issue.
The downtown
The
district.
downtown, there's buildings and parking in front of it. If there's a parking spot, get rid of that snow on the curb. If it's down the street, forget it. It doesn't hurt anything there. Doesn't get anybody's way down there.
I agree.
Good point.
I don't think these quotes include anything to do with mound snow removal. This is
I don't,
simply
I just
sidewalk clearing.
mentioned that because Rose was questioning that.
Okay. A lot clearer.
So I think the first question would be then, is there an appetite on the board to extend our sidewalk snow plowing or maintain it as it is?
End it, as far as I'm-
I like it up to 18 mile because I have like 4 trucks that I have at your place at least once a month getting oil changes, and I walk back and forth all the time. I think it's a great thing to have. And the people right now are not keeping the sidewalks clean until you get to Ford.
Mm-hmm.
We have people walk by our place all the time.
I think it's fair for the people on the north and south end of town to have their walks done. They're paying towards this anyway.
Any other discussion on whether to extend?
I think $250 is a fair price.
That's a bargain.
And it enables the DPW department to spend more time clearing out municipal buildings like the new fire station and the library.
And some snow mounds, right?
Sure, some snow mount.
No, don't go there.
I make a motion, we extend it to 18 Mile.
Second,
All right.
To clarify, does that include down to 17 miles as well?
Would be from 17 to 18 mile, yes? Is that your intention?
correct.
Okay.
I
Then,
support.
beautiful. I think we can just do a quick verbal then on extending, and then we'll move on to choosing our vendor. So all in favor of the motion on the floor to extend from 17 to 18 mile, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Then we have 2 bids, both from local vendors. One is from Preferred Landscaping at $800 per push, and the other is from O'Dowd Landscaping for $250 per push. Could I have a motion to accept one or the other of those bids?
I motion to accept. Perfect. I second.
Perfect. So as this is a financial motion, then I would do a quick roll call vote. This would be a motion to accept the O'Dowd bid. Ms. Arp,
Yes.
Mr. Byer,
Yes, as long as it's from 17 to 18.
Ms. Ensley,
Yes.
Mr. Hall, Mayor
Yes.
Hall, Ms. Howland,
Yes.
Ms. Powell,
Yes.
Mr. Friesiga,
Yes.
Mr. Wilks,
Yes.
and Mr. Ringler also votes yes. Thank you so much.
Mr.
Do we
Womack,
have-
I have a comment, I have a question. Mr. Womack. If we have awarded this bid to O'Dowd, if we have another vendor comes in for less expensive than O'Dowd, are we still locked into O'Dowd?
If we sign an agreement with them, then yes.
Thank
For
you.
this year, yeah.
Thank you.
And
But we can
Mr.
always have someone bid for the following year.
Mr. Ringler, I believe we accidentally skipped over.
We did. I was just noting that. So we would have to move back. I apologize. We'd have to move back to 7, and we had item D, which would be the Christmas lights. Ms. Ensley.
Okay, I forgot I didn't write it down on here. So I'm proposing that we light the Christmas trees over in the heart with commercial grade lights. The gentleman that does them for all of our neighboring towns, Mike and I met with him and got a quote to light the trees over in the heart of Cedar Springs. So the quote should be attached, I believe, or it was emailed to you. I don't know which one.
I believe I emailed it, but Ms. Hensley, why don't you walk us through the amount and how it's going to be matched by the chamber?
So the chamber is going to be paying for half of it. Okay, I want to say the amount, and I don't have it in front of me because I have a couple of computers trying to look at everything here right now. So Mike, I don't know if you can screen share for me. Do you have it up?
You have to give me a minute.
Okay, so I want to say the original quote was for like $2,100, but we weren't sure if we had to upgrade any of the electrical over there. That's why I asked for a little bit more. So if we don't have to upgrade any of the electrical, we shouldn't be spending all of that. I'd like to add to it each year. These lights are kind of expensive, so I think we're only putting up what, 5 trees for that cost, Mike? I can't remember off the top of my head.
It says 4.
4 trees. Yeah.
1 pine tree and 4 leaf trees.
Yep. So 5 trees total. So it's not the cheapest thing in the world, but let's be honest, if we keep buying them from the dollar store and having them put up, we have to buy new ones every single year, which we can do, right? But this guy will install them and store them for us.
So
And
is
he
the-
does the Sparta one that I kind of did the video on last year.
Would the goal be eventually to add Main Street then too, Laura?
So I got a quote on doing garland on our light post, but it scared the daylights out of me. So yeah, if we do Main Street as well, we'll probably maybe do like half of Main Street one year and maybe the other half next year or something, because it's quite an expense to try to do this. They're expensive.
So Ms. Ensley, would you be asking for a motion to approve spending up to $1,500 on, I guess, purchasing Christmas lights?
Yes, I was supposed to order them by February, but hopefully I can still get them. So the chamber has already approved the 1,500. I just am kind of waiting on you guys so I can get them ordered up.
Clarify the lights, actually you rent the lights, he owns them, you say he's.
We own them.
We
We
own,
own.
he owns them.
Yep,
And he installs them?
and he installs them. Yep, and takes them down.
Then he
It's a
takes-
3-year warranty on the lights?
Yes,
Still confused. Then he takes and stores them and then comes back next year, hopefully or whatever.
and puts them up.
That's the plan.
Yeah, so it costs money every year to have them put up, right? But this is the initial investment to buy the lights and install them. I want to say on that quote is a price just for installation. So every year we'll have some installation costs, right? And it's so much this year, obviously, because we have to buy them as well.
Okay, if down the road, and I'm trying to be a devil's advocate here a little bit, and I'm sure the guy's legitimate and everything else, but next year, maybe he wants a little more. Do we still own those lights? We can go get them and have somebody else install them?
We can store them if we would like.
No, I don't want to store them.
Do-
Right.
Do we have an idea what the annual installation cost is?
I want to say it's on that quote, Mike.
On the quote, it says labor, $850.
There you go.
So every year we're gonna pay 800, roughly 800.
It goes up.
Go half.
Yeah.
Everything else.
Go for it. I do them for free now.
Yeah,
I know, thank you. I appreciate you. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's fun.
Well, you'd still be doing them on Main Street.
Yeah, we're not gonna stop that, just saying.
I figured.
Make a motion, we approve it, give them $1,500.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Beautiful. Any further discussion? Otherwise, as this is a financial expenditure, I would do a roll call vote. Ms. Arp,
Yes.
Mr. Byer,
Yes.
Ms. Hensley,
Yes.
Mayor Hall,
Yes.
Ms. Howland,
Yes.
Ms. Powell,
Yes,
Mr. Friesinga,
Yes.
Mr. Wilks,
Yes.
and Mr. Ringler also votes yes. Thank you, and I apologize for missing that on the old business.
Thank you, guys.
I believe that we have caught our agenda up, so we are now at correspondence.
Have none.
Don't believe we have any correspondence.
Even better, city manager, DDA director's report.
40 minutes and you guys got all that stuff done. I wish every meeting was like this. Thank you.
Yes, indeed.
We're getting better at this. Any further comments on your report, Mr. City Manager?
No, thank you.
Okay, trustee comments then. Let's start from the bottom this time. Mr. Wilks.
Throw me off. I like it. I am actually really looking forward to see what those Christmas lights look like. That's really the only thing I got to say about today. Sounds like a really great thing. I'm really looking forward to that.
Thank you. Mr. Friesinga?
It's good to see everybody here again, and it's kind of nice to be in person again.
Thank you. Ms. Powell?
thank you, everybody, for showing up, and we'll see you next month.
Thank you so much. Ms. Howland?
Thank you, everyone. It's great that everybody is getting out, and I think that the new lights and everything that we're about to do and the work everybody else has done, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Mayor Hall?
Yes, it's glad to see everyone here. Just as a note, applications for the city council seat is due the end of the month. I will not be running. So there's some seats
Ooh.
open. So you know of anyone that would like to join the city council at this time, by all means, have them contact our clerk, Rebecca Johnson, and she will be more than happy to fill out, and I will sign their petition. Thanks, everybody, for all the work. It's a great board. Thank you all.
Thank you for your service, sir. Ms. Ensley?
Sorry, I always forget I'm on mute. So I just want to say I love this board. I enjoy being on this board. You guys are a great group of people, and it's an honor to work alongside you and do so many great things in this town. And hey, Mr. Hall, thank you for all your years of service. You have been a real gem to our city.
Probably a dog gym.
No, come on now.
Thank you, Ms. Ensley. Mr. Byer?
No, just thank everybody for the diligence they're doing, their due diligence they're doing. And Jerry, it's been nice. I'm glad you're gonna give up, or not glad, I'm sorry you're gonna give up your city services. I came here 45 years ago and you were doing it then, you're still doing it now.
Yeah, too long. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Byer. Ms. Arp?
I just want to say thank you for letting me be part of this group. As I'm getting into it a little bit more and more, I like to see what's going on in this town and the developing of it. So thanks for letting me be here.
Thank you. And then I obviously, it's great to see everybody be able to make it, including myself, which obviously was kind of last seat of my pants here. I'm happy to say I got shot number 2 today, along with my my bride. So I encourage everyone to do so if you can, and hopefully we can get through this nasty pandemic of the last 56 weeks, 57 weeks, but who's counting, together. I think it's in the time that I've been on this board, I think it's tremendous, the progress that we've actually made when you look at what was happening in town, 6-7 years ago when I wandered in with my hat in my hands. And it's amazing the transformation. Laura, you built a beautiful building here. Tom, you guys have done a tremendous job on the corner there. I mean, I think it's just, and it's great that the merchants here have been invested and are making a real difference in this community. And we're making the community a better place. I mean, I've always been a firm believer that rising tides lift all boats and that we're all in this together. And I think you see that with the actions and the hard work that everyone on this board and in town have done with the CBDT. Todd, you've done an amazing job on your building. It's no longer an eyesore. It's wonderful. I did want to remind people, we do have a couple of events coming up as well. Our Stark Beer Fest is on April 17th. So that is an outdoor event, but that's a tremendous group of live music that's taking place as we missed last year's event. So hopefully everyone is able to kind of come out and check that out. And even more importantly, on May 22nd, that is the Cedar Blitz. And we would love to have more and more people involved in that. That is going to benefit, proceeds from that are going to benefit the Cedar Springs band boosters, and they will be having a performance. They'll be performing at 1 o'clock that day as the day's races are finishing up. Merrill is on as a sponsor for that, which is really exciting. If you hit cedarblitz.com, there's a whole list of sponsors that are on that. The hotel is part of it as well. They put a package together. I think it's tremendously exciting. And I think there's an amazing potential with that event. Our goal is over 2,000 racers within 5 years. And I think it's great that people in the city have gotten involved with that, but there are volunteer opportunities. There's all kinds of activity. We're planning a Taste of Cedar Springs as well, which is going to have all the local food folks having some samples and stuff out there. So please reach out and get involved in any, if you can, I can introduce any of you to the Rogue Racing Group. They're a great group of guys, but I think and they've had really good feedback and interest in this event so far. So this is a way to bring people into Cedar Springs on a positive basis. And this can only grow and benefit our retailers, our hotels, our restaurants. This is all good stuff. So thank you, all of you. And with that, I will wrap my long-windedness. I would entertain, please, a motion to adjourn.
I motion.
Second.
Beautiful. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And 12:47 adjourned. Thank you.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So you folks that are here, you need to find something.